This is Adric from 220 Ride. And today we wanted to do a little bit of experimenting to see if we can make riders' lives a little bit easier. And of course, 220 Ride is a tire and tube company. So my idea for this video is when we're out adventure riding, when we're out enduro riding, not so much when we're motocross riding, just because you're not going to get too far from your truck or your trailer or van, is to see if we can run a mountain bike tube in the bike in case of an emergency. So everyone knows that ounces matter when you're carrying weight. I mean, every little thing you add a couple ounces, a half a pound here and there, you're going to be adding up to a lot of weight. And that's going to impact your riding performance, it's going to impact your safety, and it's going to impact your fun, because if you're carrying 40 pounds in all your packs or your bags or your cases versus carrying 20 pounds, that's a big difference. So we're going to start by weighing the different tubes. We have a mountain bike tube, and this is a downhill mountain bike tube, so it's a little bit thicker, a little bit bigger around as well. We're going to weigh a standard motocross tube. So this is a regular dirt bike tube. And then we're going to weigh the heavy duty tube to see what the differences are in all three. Okay, so first we're going to use my trusty deli scale sitting on top of my tire machine. Not everyone has this set up, it's pretty special. We're going to see how much the heavy duty tube weighs. We are 1.990 pounds, so just a hair under 2 pounds. Next, we're going to do the standard tube, and these are all front tubes, so they're all comparable. Front tube, half of that, we're at 0.995. So we've just lost 1 pound in that difference. And then the mountain bike tube, and considering this is a downhill tube, it's a little bit bigger, a little more heavy duty tube. 0.435. So we're over a half a pound lighter comparing our motocross or standard dirt bike tube to our mountain bike tube, and over 1.5 pounds lighter compared to an ultra heavy duty tube. So the big question is this going to work in a bike? Are we going to be able to put this in a tire and be able to make it out or continue riding without any trouble? But if we're cutting down on over a half a pound compared to a standard tube, and 1.5 pounds compared to heavy duty tube, and we can double that if we're only carrying one instead of 2 tubes, that's going to make a big difference in our performance, our safety, and our fun. So let's see what we can do, guys. Guys, this is my 2004 WR450F. It's kind of my budget enduro. I bought it as a little bit of a project. Wasn't running right, some electrical issues, a few other things. We got it running. It's running great. But let's try it out with this bike. We can do a little log jumping, a little dirt jumping, throw it on the road for a little bit, see if this mountain bike tire holds up good on it. All right, let's rip this front tire off. All right, we've got the wheel off. Let's go swap the tire and tube. See if the mountain bike tube will hold up like we want it to. See if we can get some weight. All right, let's pull the valve stem out. Right. All right, this is the old tube that we just took out. Let's try that mountain bike tube. Let's finish getting this tire off because I want a small tire. So this is another Bridgestone tire. This is a takeoff from, I think, my KX450 before I sold it. It's still got decent tread. Obviously, it's not new, but it's newer than that one, and it doesn't have the chunking and the old sidewall burn. We've got our mountain bike tube. This one is a specialized mountain bike tube. It's a 26-inch, and it's a 1.75 to 2.4, so it's a little bit bigger, so for the more downhill or enduro type bikes. And the way I like to start by putting tires and tubes together, just putting a little bit of air in it and fitting it into the tire. So we don't even know if this is going to fit, but that's why we're experimenting. All right, Looks like it's fitting in there pretty good. Of course, it's not as big around as a normal motocross tube, but it's going to expand when we put some air pressure into it. All right, let's mount this up and without even using a tire iron. And that's when we use our duckbill again. And we're going around. There we go. All right, so I've got 30 pounds of pressure in here. Let me check with my pressure gauge. And so far it's holding. I don't know if I mentioned that this is a used mountain bike tire, and I might have seen a patch on it when I put it in. So this is going to be the ultimate test when we ride this to see if it really works. We've got 34.5 pounds in this tire. So let's tighten down our nuts. Never forget to tighten your nut. Okay, 34.5 pounds. Our bead lock is tight. Our Schrader valve is tight. We're fully beaded. We're good to put this back on and go for a ride and see what happens. Oh. All right, we've got our front wheel on. All the bolts are torqued down to appropriate torque. She's spinning good. Front brakes work. Let's bring down our pressure down to where 13.5. All right, let's gear it up and see what this bike does with a mountain bike tube.
My mouth is dry, my face is numb, fucked up and spun out in my room. We're on my own, here we go.
Well, we got our mountain bike tire. Mountain bike tube in our front tire of this WR450. I just spent the last half hour doing some smaller jumps, hitting some berms, clearing some logs, screwing around as much as I can. I don't have any rock gardens or anything like that here. I do it down on the trails. But at this point, it looks like the tire still has air in it. So let's check the pressure, see if it did what it needed to. 14.5, so it went from 13.5 to 14.5 with the increase in temperature. That means we held air. I put it through a little bit of roughness. I don't know what you think, but I think that carrying a half-pound tube instead of a 1 or 2 pound tube in my pack or going adventure riding is not a bad deal to keep riding and take off a lot of weight from your pack. Tell me what you guys think. This is Adric from 220 Ride. Let's ride.